This comes to us from nowthisnews.com. Remember the one where the Minneapolis police officer shot the Australian citizen woman who was unarmed? Guess what? He finally is going to get sentenced. What are you talking about? This is in Minneapolis, right? The home of who? Derek Chauvin, who's going to represent himself in his appeals case. Yeah. Let's hope he loses. Minneapolis, a police officer who fatally shot an unarmed woman after she called 911 to report a possible rape happening behind her home, was sentenced Thursday to nearly 5 years in prison, the most the judge could impose, but less than half the 12 and a half years he was sentenced to for his murder conviction. That was overturned last month. So he got a murder conviction and it was overturned last month. So it went from 12 and a half years to 5.
For a second time, the family of Australian native Justine Ruszczyk prepared victim impact statements and relived the pain of her death at the hands of former Minneapolis police officer Mohamed Noor when he shot and killed her in the alley behind her home in one of Minneapolis' safest neighborhoods. But her fiancé, Don Damon, over a Zoom screen here on the right, told Noor that Justine would forgive him.
All right, kiddo? You all right?
Yeah.
Just keep your mouth shut so you don't have to say anything to anybody. Hop in. Just hop in and sit with Ringer. I'm going off.
93, Minneapolis.
Mohamed Noor, that was his name, was initially convicted of third-degree murder and manslaughter in the 2017 fatal shooting of Justine Ruszczyk-Damand, a 40-year-old dual U.S. Australian citizen and yoga teacher who was engaged to be married. But the Minnesota Supreme Court tossed out Noor's murder conviction and sentence last month because he was a cop and he was on the line of duty. Come on, guys, we protect the blue line. No sending these guys to jail or prison. Saying the third-degree murder statute didn't fit the case because it can only apply when a defendant shows a generalized indifference to human life. Not when the conduct is directed at a particular person, as it was with Damand. I don't understand that. So he directed it at a particular person. It wasn't a generalized indifference to human life. Is it too early? Do I need coffee to understand that? He didn't generalize indifference to human life. He directly, or it was directed particularly at Damand. I'm trying to understand this.
Given her example, I want you to know that I forgive you, Mohammed. All I ask is that you use this experience to do good for other people.
Justine's family expressed frustration that her death did not seem to lead to any sort of change with the Minneapolis Police Department, and Judge Catherine Quaintance echoed those thoughts. Damon asked Noor to be an example of honesty and contrition, of how to transform beyond adversity. And when given the chance to speak, Noor said that is what he'll do.
Judge Catherine Quaintance, who also presided at Noor's trial, granted prosecutors' request to impose the maximum sentence in state guidelines on Noor's manslaughter conviction, 57 months. In doing so, she brushed aside the defense's request for 41 months, which is the low end of the range. With good behavior, Noor could be freed on the supervised release by next summer. Next summer. The state prison website listed his anticipated release date as June 27th. So this guy's going to spend, 8 months and a freaking 10 months for murdering a woman. Mr. Noor, so the judge, Quaintance, said, Mr. Noor, I am not surprised that you have been a model prisoner. However, I do not know any authority that would make the grounds for reducing your sentence. Shooting across the nose of your partner and endangering others the night of the shooting to hand down the stiffest sentence she could, 5 years.
I'm deeply grateful for Mr. Damon's forgiveness. I'm deeply sorry for the pain that I've caused that family, and I will take his advice and be a unifier. Thank you.
Judge Quainton's discretion was limited by Minnesota's sentencing guidelines for second-degree manslaughter, which has much lower possible penalties than his original conviction of third-degree murder. But she went as high as she could.
I hereby sentence you to the Commissioner of Corrections for a period of 57 months.
In Minnesota, inmates serve 2/3 of their sentence behind bars, which means Noor has 8 months left, and he'll be released in June.
Yeah, he shot across his partner to shoot this woman. The one who called 911 to say something going on back here. And people have said it on my videos. You call 911, you're calling a hit on somebody, and it could be you. And I'm not anti-cop, but it just seems like these welfare checks, these people who call 911, you know, these are the people that are being victimized by police. Yes, victimized. You call a welfare check on somebody, they end up dead. Like the guy in Texas, what city was that? Called to say the woman's door is open. I don't know, somebody might be in there. And the cop is prowling and creeping around the back of her house looking in the window. Well, she's a licensed gun owner, Second Amendment, so she pulls her gun out to see what's going on, and he shoots through the window. Welfare check, she ends up dead. This woman called 911, she ends up dead. Now it goes down, it's quite lengthy. There's quite a bit more. Oh yeah, there's a lot more. But the basic gist is she called 911, the cops went out there. I believe, if I remember correctly, she went up to the car. She was going to tell him what's going on, and he shot her. And now he gets 5 years. He'll be out next summer. I think he's already spent some time in prison. You'll have to read it. The link is below. But they overturned his conviction, and this judge says, well, no, he's going to spend some time. We'll put him in again until next summer. You know, give him a little bit more time to think about it. He's a model prisoner. Wasn't a model cop. Or maybe he was a model cop. You guys let me know about that.